Bueno, estamos aquí con Richard Stanley, la gran estrella de esta edición del Sombra. Haremos la entrevista en inglés por motivos obvios, pero bueno, seguro que con los subtítulos que los hacéis y tal se entiende. Welcome, Richard. Welcome to Murcia. How is life treating you these 5 years since Color Out of Space?
Well, it's a miracle I'm still alive. But yeah, these last 5 years have been probably the most difficult and apocalyptic period I've known in my life. It's just been fully crazy on every level. Very, very testing. I mean, the reception of Color Out of Space was not what I was expecting.
Did you expect more, or it was? Do you wanted more recognition of for the movie, or?
Well, I felt Color Out of Space is probably the most commercial film I've ever made. In that it was a genuine attempt to try to make a film for an American audience, dealing with the an American nuclear family. I think that the crew was the best crew I'd ever worked with. The Portuguese crew were excellent, and I'm super happy with the post-production of the film, with the effects work, and just everyone behind the camera. I think did a tremendous job. It's the only time in my life I've ever finished ahead of schedule, and really this was a unique experience. I'm very happy with the cast too. I had a super good experience working with Nick Cage, who was a great star, and really a good guy to be dealing with. But of course, from that point on, from the time of delivery, everything seemed to be against us. The film's theatrical release was derailed by the appearance of COVID, the COVID lockdown. The film was hardly entered into any festivals, and scarcely ran in competition. Even in Sitges, it only played a midnight screening and was not in official competition. So we did not have the chance to really compete anywhere. Didn't have the chance to play widely. It became one of the most viewed films on Netflix during the initial phases of the COVID lockdown. But beyond that, none of the people involved in the movie have seen any residuals or any royalties or payment from the film. All the money has completely disappeared. None of my cast members have succeeded in, apart from Nick, succeeded in getting bigger jobs. I really would like Madeline, who played Lavinia, to go further. I would like Elliot Knight, who played for me the hero of the movie, to also go further. And the fact that nobody's careers progressed beyond that is frustrating to me.
That's a real shame, because it's Color Out of Space is a real unique work, and I think it's a great film. But you know how these things work. Maybe in COVID is like a thing apart from everything. But I think it will be rediscovered in a few years. You know, there are some shit going on in the industry, but there's hope for films that they're not well deserved. I don't know how to put it on words. I mean, I hope that Color Out of Space will be a second chance someday, because it's a unique work.
Yeah, I think it has legs. And the fact that I'm still alive, most of the cast members have made it through, means that we still have a chance. But really, in the middle of it all, things were more out of control than anything I've seen in my life. I mean, we were attacked left, right and centre from every direction. I mean, Lovecraft was attacked and falsely accused of being a racist, and Lovecraft's statue was pulled down at Brown University and taken out of the taken off campus, and there was a strong attempt to cancel Lovecraft. I was attacked and falsely accused of any number of insane things online, and this full paranoia. None of us saw any money. So the next thing I knew, I was broke. We were dealing with just a level of madness that I've never seen before. I mean, a lot of people, I guess, around me started believing that aliens were replacing us. People started thinking that we were part of some kind of secret society or an occult reptiloid elite that were ruling Hollywood and harvesting children for adrenochrome. I think somehow in the middle of the COVID lockdown, people went fully insane for a while. There were 2 attempts to kill me. I had attacks on my actual house. I had one crazy person smashed through the front window of the house in the middle of the night, and I managed to back them out of the house with my cell phone by pretending I would film them and cancel them. But it got fully insane. It wasn't the reaction I was expecting. And we're now trying to set up a new adaptation of the Dunwich horror.
Yeah.
So I'm very much hoping that if we manage to shoot this, the world won't come to an end next time, or there won't be another disaster on that level. Because
how is that project coming? The Dunwich horror adaptation.
It's in pretty good shape. I mean, we've basically got the first million of the budget in the kitty, and we've got the first cast members attached. It's the best script I've ever had in my hands. I'm very happy with the material and very keen to shoot it. The plan, if it goes well, is I really want to shoot it in America. Because at this point in my life I have never made an American movie. I've never shot a film actually inside US borders. And I don't think anyone has ever shot a Lovecraft movie in Lovecraft country, in New England or Massachusetts, where the stories are set. So this time round I would very much like to bring Lovecraft home. And we're trying to do this with the cooperation of the Rhode Island Film Commission and the Rhode Island Tax Department. So I'm hoping that we have this chance to rehabilitate Lovecraft, because the attacks on Lovecraft, which were largely led by Jeff Vandermeer, the writer of Annihilation, who for some reason spearheaded this internet campaign to try to cancel Cthulhu and take Lovecraft down, seems to have completely failed. Now that James Wan has announced a Call of Cthulhu, and Del Toro's hinting heavily that he might be able to get Mountains of Madness off the ground, I'm thinking that there may be the situation might turn around. Lovecraft may have his moment after all, so I'm praying to the great old ones and to the dark gods that this can happen.
At this point, apart from James Wan rumors and Guillermo del Toro ones of actually doing big budget Lovecraft adaptations, what do you think major studios have yet to venture into making these adaptations with a real big budget?
Well, one of the things that's so unique about Lovecraft, which the studios haven't been able to get their heads around, is there's no copyright. You can't trademark Cthulhu either. You can't own Lovecraft. Everyone is free to make their own Lovecraft adaptations, to write their own Necronomicon, to add on to the universe. And this concept of a shared public domain, copyright-free extended universe is something that the studios just can't comprehend. It's kind of beyond the Marvel-verse. It's like the Marvel-verse or the DC universe. If Marvel or DC didn't hold the rights to those characters, and anyone was free to add in new adventures, it's something that I think could be amazing. I really hope it happens.
We've heard you talk about the cowardice of major studios to bring forward an idea like Jodorowsky's Dune. What do you think of Denis Villeneuve's adaptation? Have you seen the first and the second part of this new Dune?
I've got to say I haven't.
Neither the two?
Yeah, I haven't. I'm going to do it soon, because it came during this period of time when I was the COVID lockdown, and then I spent the last 4 years basically out in the woods in the French Pyrenees, and just stayed out of the world for a period of time, which was the best way of keeping safe through this.
So this lockdown.
Entire vortex. There was a period in the middle of it where most of us really thought the world was going to come to an end.
Yeah.
It got pretty strange. So I didn't watch a lot of movies during that time, and I do want to catch up with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wouldn't be fair for me to make any criticism or any suggestions. Although now that they've got through to as far as the beginning of Dune Messiah. I'm really wondering what's going to happen if Timothy Chalamet is going to actually turn into an evil sandworm that rules the universe. I would like to see this happen.
Yeah. In that same documentary, Jodorowsky talks about how he has transferred many of his ideas from his Dune into his own comic. Can we expect a future work of that kind with the great ideas that you have from the island of Dr. Moreau?
I hope someone has the courage to do it. There's been a lot of talk about doing a Dr. Moreau comic, and I've talked with the humanoids about it, but so far they haven't moved forward. But in one irony, I did end up writing the dialogue and the English language translations of Jodorowsky's Meter Barons series for the humanoids, which is very much basically a knockoff of Dune. It's the same thing, but with the spice turned into epithite, and the Galactic Empire turned into the techno army in the comic books. So I ended up writing a lot of dialogue for Jodorowsky for the humanoids comics. But I would like to see Moreau get its due. But I understand that there's going to be a Netflix Moreau now with Anthony Hopkins, which has nothing to do with me. People keep telling me that it's raided Lost Soul and Moreau for a bunch of ideas, but I think that's fair. I steal ideas from people, so they're welcome to take a few from me, and so I'm looking forward to see what happens.
If there were no limits, what would be your dream adaptation? Is there any tangible one you're still fighting to adapt?
Well, right now I'm super focused on trying to get Dunwich made, and for whatever reason it's become a bit of a Mount Everest. It's a nice challenge because we do want to go back into Miskatonic University in the near future. It's meant to be set maybe 10 years into the future from now. It's Arkham County and one step away from now, and there's many things about how life on campus is working in the present day, which I would very much like to show. And I also want to create a Lovecraft country that's basically in continuity with the rest of the Lovecraft universe. This is a Miskatonic University where presumably Herbert West was committed his crimes maybe back in the 80s. The medical block in the current script is the Dean Halsey block, named after the Dean who's killed in the Stuart Gordon movie. I would like to have a few shout-outs to the other Lovecraft movies. The Dunwich adaptation is set maybe 13 years after the meteorite hit the Gardner farm, but it's in the same universe. So I'm working towards a shared universe, which also gets to open Necronomicon. I want to get my hands on the book and reclaim the book from the Evil Dead franchise, because a lot of folk think that's where it's coming from. I've been working very strongly with the man who wrote the paperback Necronomicon, this best-selling phony Necronomicon from the 1970s. That Lavinia has a copy of it in the Colour Out of Space. But because of that, the folk responsible for putting out this paperback Necronomicon contacted me, and I've brought them on board to basically design the magical rituals, and I want to have a working system of magic in the thing, which is consistent through the movie and also consistent with the VR game, because I think virtual reality is a very interesting area to develop, especially when you're dealing with magical rituals and dimensional changes, things which affect 3 dimensions above you, below you, and behind you, which you can't do in the movie. And we've been basically designing a sort of VR Necronomicon. It's kind of a cult simulator, because you get to play the Cthulhu cultist who's trying to open the gates and bring the old ones back into this world, and you're constantly frustrated by people who are trying to stop you from opening the book. If you get caught, they'll lock you in the Arkham Asylum. I love the fact that the Arkham Asylum is also part of the DC universe. And there's a trap door that goes into the Batman movies. So it's a very, very exciting terrain to be exploring.
And a final question. A lot of people call Hardware the first post-apocalyptic giallo. Have you come up with more ideas for future apocalyptic or dystopian film since the pandemic? Because it's something too heavy to not impulse your imagination and try to figure some story about it.
Well, I guess the pandemic just felt like a whole bunch of crazy movies all rolled together. I mean, I was working on a draft of Call of Cthulhu, but now that there's a James Bond Call of Cthulhu, I've kind of put that to one side, and I'm waiting to see what would happen.
What will happen?
Because there is an issue as to what would happen if the old ones came back. How would the world change? And I'd sure love to see a proper Lovecraftian apocalypse. I mean, we've had almost everything else, and I think after the plague, I'm kind of ready for alien invasion next. And, it's something I'd kind of like to see in my lifetime.
Okay, so thank you so much for the interview, Richard, and have fun here in Murcia, because we have to go with your fans, and we'll have a Q&A. Again, thank you so much, and good luck with the language horror. I hope it goes well.
Yeah, I hope that we're able to make it and it doesn't have a similar destabilizing effect on reality like the last one.